Well, you all know these guys, and you know how it works because we were just in here, but pretty amazing group. And I'm going to just throw out some questions again like we did before, so we leave plenty of time for y'all to ask some stuff. And y'all, that was a NASCAR term, in case you were paying attention there. But,
do they want me to do this with my shirt on or off?
I'm not sure what they want, but I can tell you what we want.
Is this where we vote?
I'm going to throw this out to Brian and then over to you, Larry. What's your first memory of the Cars world, and why do you think it has stood the test of time?
Well, my first memory, I came through the doors at Pixar. My first job at Pixar was on the first Cars film with John Lasseter. And I was a storyboard artist. So my first memory is sitting in story reviews with John and the whole story crew, just trying to figure out ways to make each other laugh around the table, and drawing lots of drawings, jokes and gags, pinning them on the wall. And just trying to absorb everything I could because I couldn't believe I was there. And I think these movies stand the test of time. These characters, I think it's about the characters. I think it's about everyone can relate. Everyone can relate to these characters, and they're appealing to look at. But more importantly, when they go through life and they talk and they make jokes and they come up against struggles and challenges, you know, I mean, everyone can see themselves, I think, in one of these characters.
What about you, Larry? What's your first memory of the Cars world, and why do you think it's stood the test of time?
Well, I think people can relate to the characters, first of all, and it's just, they're just fun movies. You know, they have a lot of heart in them. I think as far as my character goes, I think a lot of people would like to have a neighbor like Mater. I mean, he's dependable and he's lovable and he's sweet, and he may not be the smartest, you know, fork in the knife drawer, but he's a faithful guy, and that's what everybody would like to have. And it's just kind of cool seeing the progression and seeing how these movies just go through. They grow, you know, they're growing old like everybody else is, you know, and it's just cool to see. It's you know, I mean, Cars has been around a long time, so I think people just relate to it, and it's really cool to see every movie in the different situations. Great.
Well, I'm going to throw this out to Isiah and to Kevin, but Cars 3 spotlights the next generation of race cars, or racers, but it also shows how important those who raced before how it is to not forget those people. Why do you think the balance between old and new is important, not just in racing, but beyond racing in life?
Well, because I really feel that we need to pay attention to a lot of the pioneers, a lot of people who have come before us, and some of the struggles, especially with the character that I play, Wendell Scott. We need to pay attention to that to see how we got to where we are today. And I know with Wendell Scott, River Scott that I play, he did not have the sponsors and the equipment and especially racing in the segregated South. There were so many obstacles, and yet he was able to persevere. And I think that's the key word there, is perseverance, overcoming a lot of those obstacles to be successful. So we kind of deal with that sort of the heart of racing when we think about racing, and we think about the passion and the heart and what it's all about. I think the character that I play exhibited that over time.
And made an incredible impact on our sport. And it's a coincidence that this weekend, another young man, the second African-American to ever win at NASCAR's high level, will be driving for the King Richard Petty this weekend. And that was from the foundation groundwork that people like Wendell Scott have done.
But the one thing that I really took away from it is I was overwhelmed by the passion and the love of the sport. I don't think I'll ever look at NASCAR again the same way, because, you know, I'll be the first to admit I didn't quite understand it. But I thought that after studying Wendell Scott and studying NASCAR and studying some of these pioneers, people who have come before, I really got a great education as far as NASCAR and racing and the passion of racing and what it's all about.
And Kevin, what do you think?
We did a lot of research and these wonderful stories that came forward, and we were so inspired by the stories of Louise Smith and Wendell Scott, and Junior Johnson's still alive and kicking and funny, and so we just felt we wanted to honor them with our story and their backstory.
And I'm going to throw this one out for Nathan, because we haven't spoke with you yet, and then Larry again, but why is it so easy for us to forget that these characters are cars? Is it because we recognize our neighbors and cousins and friends up on the big screen?
That's the idea, isn't it? That's the design. We do that suspension of disbelief, the idea that Superman could put on glasses and nobody recognizes him. We just kind of forgive, okay, this is a world of cars. We forgive that immediately, and we're in. We've bought a ticket. We're saying we're willing to dismiss our conceptions. Yes, Larry, wasn't that exactly what you were going to say?
That was what I was thinking. Same thing.
The same thing?
Took the words right out of my mouth.
I love you, Larry. I love you. But all the NASCAR guys, everybody said, make sure when you get out to tell Larry, get her done. That's what they said. They're at Pocono Racing this week, and everybody's thinking about you, man.
I love him. I've been a fan forever, so I'm a big NASCAR fan. Been trying to tell everybody it's a great sport. See, it's a great sport, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And Lea, your character, Mrs. Fritter, gives new meaning to school buses. What did you think of that character when you first seen it? And in the fall, will kids be thinking twice about getting on the school bus?
I think they will run to get on the school bus after seeing Miss Fritter. Yeah. So I don't think that's going to be an issue with the kids at all. I just thought she was amazing and so much fun. And these guys are just awesome, and they let you play around so much when you're on the mic. So they would be like, here, read those lines, and then if you got something, throw it out. I think we all did it. And that's, for me, that's gold. I've been a stand-up my whole life, so I was having a great time working with them and bringing life to her. Because, you know, she'll fritterize you. I love her.
Brian, how's that happen? Mrs. Fritter.
You know, it's a demolition derby. School buses are a part of, they're a thing. But we needed a voice that could keep up with the character, and so we called on Lea, and our sessions were so much fun because, yeah, we'll get with the words on the page, but the only time in animation to actually get some true, you know, improv and some into the medium is in the recording booth. So that is when we can play, and I don't know how many times we have gone off the map in a recording, and then gone back and changed the pages later to account for something that happened, something magical that happened in the recording booth.
Nathan, Isiah, Lea, and Kevin, Story's king at Pixar. What is it about Pixar's style of storytelling that makes the films and characters so compelling? We'll start with you, Nathan.
Here's my theory. Nothing happens by accident in a Pixar movie. They tell a story one pixel at a time. So by the time it gets to the point where I'm sitting there in front of the microphone, all the hard work has actually been done. I rely very heavily on the director. We get to play around a little bit, but in all honesty, you're looking at a Thanksgiving meal and Nathan is the pepper. You know what I mean? The work has kind of been done. Just need a little pepper, buddy, and you're done.
Lea?
I agree.
Thank you.
Once again, words right out of my mouth.
He agrees with everybody. Don't worry about it.
For me, I just love Pixar. It's magical, and every time I've seen any Pixar movie, I'm beyond excited to watch it. I'm always there the second it opens. It just transforms us all back to our childhood, I think. I mean, I'm just a kid, screaming and laughing at whatever's happening. And I mean, that's why this is dream come true for me to be in a Pixar movie. So, you know what I mean? And that's because I love it. I just love sitting there and remembering that. It just takes me right back. I just went to see New Kids on the Block, the Boys to Men and Paula Abdul. But I went for Paula Abdul and Boys to Men. I'm a lot older than the New Kids on the Block fans. And I was in a stadium with 40 to 45-year-old women screaming like they were 10 years old again or 12 years old. And that's the way I feel when I see a Pixar movie. I'm like, I'm just 10 years old watching that movie again. It's great.
Isiah?
I'm always amazed at how they're able to cross the line and humanize some of these characters, you know. At first I got, you know, when I would watch it, I would get a little scared because I would forget that it was animation. I would forget that they're cars. And you know, you start to really care, and you have these emotional feelings about a lot of the characters. And I find that just fascinating, you know, that you're able to do that. And I've seen that in every Pixar movie.
Kevin?
My favorite is when we've had a couple of comments where people have come up and said, I was crying over a car. Come on. Wow, you kill me. And then I'm like, yeah, we did right. We did it right.
I've cried over a few cars in my career, Kevin. All right, so we're going to go back. You all know how this works. And, you know, Larry, I thought they were holding up money for me, but it was for Owen and Army. But we'll have some time. Let's go to the gentleman in the blue on the end there.
Thank you very much. My name is Alex Ray from laughingplace.com. As a ginormous Disney dweeb, I almost had a brain aneurysm when Larry the Cable Guy started singing the Humphrey Hop with altered lyrics. So I just have to know, how did that obscure song get plucked out and put in this mainstream movie, and the lyrics and all that, because it was amazing, and I really appreciate it for it.
Yeah, I watched a lot of TV when I was a kid, and Disney Channel, where my parents had cable really early on, and the Humphrey Hop, it's one of those songs. Now I'm 43 years old, and I still, a week doesn't go by that I'm not singing that tune in my head. It's just ingrained. It's a childhood favorite. So yeah, we rewrote the lyrics, but that song, it's just one of those moments where you kind of realize, well, I'm directing the movie. I can do whatever I want. I want the Humphrey Hop in there.
We got to pay for it. That's my job.
I'm glad somebody else recognized it and got something out of it, because I thought that was just for me.
You are a fan.
All right, we've got this lady over here. Now, I was going to say the lady with the green band, but you know they all got green bands on? There you go.
Hi, Lupe was in the movie. This movie was so much fun. Leah, I think Mrs. Fritter needs her own spin-off. So, well,
You know who to talk to.
Brian?
I couldn't agree more.
Watch for the
So does my accountant and my landlord.
Watch for the DVD extras.
Secondly, the ending is quite a surprise. So I'm wondering how much discussion took place to get to that point without giving it away.
Lots of discussion.
We you know, in true Pixar fashion, I think we ended this movie at one point or another in all the evolution. We tried everything you could possibly try. We make the movie many, many, many times, over and over and over. We tried a lot of things, and it was always inching towards that ending, you know, little by little, little by little. Well, now I feel something. Let's go a little further, and the end result is what's on the screen. But it's part of the evolutionary process.
The lady, reddish hair and glasses there.
First of all, congratulations, all of you. An amazing job. Nathan, you are fabulous as Sterling.
Thank you.
But you know, I have to ask all of you, we've talked about the history of NASCAR that's brought into the film. There's cinematic history that you bring back, and it is a very integral part of Cars 3, and that is Paul Newman as Doc Hudson. Would our filmmakers talk about the decision to bring Doc in such a prominent role, using Paul Newman's voice, and also for the actors? Did you ever think you'd be in a film and have a credit with Paul Newman?
Good question.
No.
Absolutely. You know,
I think I'd be in a film.
Fair enough.
You know, we were really lucky. John Lasseter ran on Cars 1, kept the mic open, and we had all this wonderful things, and we did transcriptions, and the Newman's Own Foundation was so terrific in supporting us and knew that we were trying to be as respectful as possible with Mr. Newman's performance, and that we weren't just, you know, kind of doing it
We had
lightly.
hours of voice on tape to kind of comb through and find, you know, what was going to help us tell this story, because there's some nuggets in there we couldn't use because they weren't helpful to telling the story. But we're I feel extremely fortunate that we got the right things. We got exactly what we needed, and we're just lucky at the end of the day.
We also went to the original Click and Clack tapes to record, to try to pull some lines from Tom Magliozzi, who passed away. So out of respect.
We'll go back over to this side. Young lady right here. No, you look at not the one. You stand up. There you go. Yeah, you. Winner. Waiting for your mic.
Hi everyone, I'm Cassandra Shaw from LA Times High School Insider. And in the movie, you see these cars take a very unconventional approach to their training to sort of get ahead in the race. So I was wondering, in your career, in your own path, what is something that you had to approach in an unconventional method?
I think acting is a strange career to begin with, and I think any process by which we do our jobs is a little unusual. We're pretending for a living, honestly. It's not rocket science or construction, it's pretending. I think that that's a little weird in itself, and I love it.
Yeah, I have to agree. I've always found it just the whole experience and being an actor is just unconventional. The things I've had to do.
It's crazy, right?
And I can say I'm not proud of it. Some I am, but some, where, that's gonna maybe go into the book. But the whole experience has always been very unconventional. But it's been a joy, the people I've met, the things I've done, places I've been. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
Black and white? I think. I can't see that far. That might be gray. That's what happens when you get old. You lose your color focus.
You got it right.
Okay.
All right. Sarah Woloski from Skywalking Through Neverland podcast. And I would love to know any of the newer cars in this film who were introduced, like Nathan Fillion. Were you guys able to have any say in the design of your cars at all, and what kind of car you picked and the color?
No, we were not.
No, but I gotta say, they nailed the eye color on Sterling. Incidentally, only reason the Sterling car isn't here right now is because it's actually so nice someone's out driving it.
They used my high school on the side of the bus, which I think is amazing. And the license plate is it my birthday? It's my birthday.
And state.
And like but it wasn't like I didn't call them up, I won't do it unless my birthday is a license plate. They called me and said, what's your birthday? What high school did you go to? And then the next thing I knew, I was actually saying my high school at the script, and it was on the bus, and I just think that's kind of great.
You're gonna be awesome at your reunion.
Oh, I will be king of the reunion.
I love my car. I love my car. They got the brown eyes, they got the mustache with the grill and everything like that. So I was very happy with it.
And capture that 37 Ford flatback modified. That's what Wendell used to drive with that number 34 on it. And I love that little part on the back where it says pit crew, me, because he didn't even have a pit crew. He used to pull in from the race, stop in the pits, get out and change his own tires, get back in and go out and race everybody. He was an amazing guy. There was a lady way in the back there, just under the cameras.
Can you hear me? Okay, there we go. Hi. First, I just want to say, Leah, congrats on Orange and this movie. It's awesome, and Mrs. Fritter is awesome. But I have a NASCAR question. So I've been teased a lot because I've been obsessed with NASCAR. I'm like the only one in my family that even knows, Dale Earnhardt and everybody. And I used to dream of actually being, sorry, now I'm getting nervous. A pit crew chief, and used to, just pretend to have the little radio when I used to watch Dale Jr. and his dad and everything. And now with like the rise of Danica and more women in actual NASCAR events, do you think there would ever be, a pit crew boss as a lady or a crew chief as a lady? And do you expect that to be on the rise now that there's more and more drivers?
Well, yeah, I don't think it. I know it. I don't know how soon. I don't know when the first lady crew chief. We have lady drivers. We have ladies on pit crews right now. Currently at Hendrick Motorsports, where I still spend a lot of my time, our lead aerodynamic engineer is a lady. Our lead engineer, or one of our best engineers from General Motors, is a lady. And as the sport evolves, there are more and more opportunities engineering-wise for ladies to become involved, and you're seeing more and more ladies who want to be involved. So I have a 2-year-old daughter as well, and I fully expect her to be the first lady winner of the Daytona 500 someday. So, you know, to answer your question, I think it's great, and again, that's another thing that I think our friends at Pixar have really done a great job in showing exactly what's going on in NASCAR with Cruz Ramirez, because we have a lot of ladies behind the scenes that are starting to come to the forefront. So it won't be long before you see those ladies leading teams and leading laps on the racetrack. You, sir.
Derek Clemens with the Pixar Podcast. For Larry, you have had, Mater has been the focus of Cars 2 and a lot of shorts. In this film, he's a little bit less in the spotlight, and I just wondered if you were a little bit sad about that.
I think Mater's got a good role in this. Mater does what he's supposed to do. You know, just when you're about to cry, Mater says something stupid, and then you laugh again. So there you go. No, Mater, there's no Cars without Mater. That's what it's all about. It's about McQueen and Mater and what's going on in their lives. And I don't care if Mater's got one line. If Mater's Mater, he'll always be Mater. So, no. So it doesn't. I mean, you're getting me confused for somebody that really, you know. I mean, I'm in a Pixar movie. I mean, that's flipping awesome, dude. You know, why would I care?
Let's go with this lady right in the front here.
Thank you. To segue to that, my name is Kathy with Bel Air Mommy, and my son recently, we got him the tow meter that can actually has the hook, and I sat in a little spinner, and tow meter was towing me. He goes, "Mama, Mater can even tow you." And I was like, "Oh my God." So my son absolutely loves your character.
Well,
so.
tell him I hope you're okay from sitting on the hook.
All righty then. Okay, so with that, we're going to have to move this group out. I hope you all enjoyed everything. Thank you all very much.
I love that.